Peace, y'all. Welcome back to You THNK Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Hughes. We had to take a brief intermission. Sorry to say, but a smoke break was necessary. But we are back nonetheless. Once again, I am joined by two legendary guests. I got the beloved Pop, one of the unofficial elected officials of Newark, and I am blessed by the presence of the chef, Raekwon, as well. Picking up where we left off, man. So this year marks the 30th year, or the 30th anniversary of the Purple Tape, man. What does that mean to you?
30 years later, right? It's a celebration, man. You know, it's a celebration, and it always reminds me of where I came from, how hard I worked to do what I needed to do, and, you know, the wins and losses that come with things. Just gotta, appreciate them how they come. And to be here to celebrate 30 years later is like, it takes me back to like, yo, you need some right choices. And people see it and they love it.
That's dope.
We gotta celebrate them.
Facts. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm mad that I missed out on those Theodoras. I'm mad I missed out on them, bro. And they charging the grip on StockX for them right now.
You see it 30 years later, you got a young Raekwon he just came into the game. What is like
To be, to have fun, to surround himself with motivation, motivated people, and don't stop, don't quit. I always tell myself sometimes, like, damn, I should have did more. I should have did more work. I had the time, so that's what I would say is like, keep going, being in for the fun and the movement of it, because it's growing. It's a growing process that takes hip-hop where it takes it, because it changes so much. But you have to find a way to pick up and make it yourself, so don't stop. Don't stop the movement. It's like I was saying before, you gotta know how to come in the room and light it up when it ain't even lit.
That's right.
They gotta feel you across the room, like, yo, it's something. And then when you get out there, you do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So to me, that's like I said, that's what we celebrate. We celebrate the times, the moments that we made it and still where I'm at today.
Now, speaking of doing what you're supposed to do, right? Your final stop is supposed to be here for the Wu-Tang tour, correct?
Absolutely. Once hands down, and we gonna light the city up with some energy.
Now, being here this whole weekend, I've heard you and Ghost constantly speak on how Staten Island, New Jersey, how cousins and all of that, man. What does that feel like? What type of emotion is associated with you performing your final show here?
It's beautiful. It's like, yo, back to where it all started. It all started in these places. These cities. Staten Island, we never really had Staten Island, just to give everybody a quick recap of what Staten Island. Staten Island wanted to be its own state out.
Really?
Not just a federal state. So their laws and their bureaucracy out there is a little bit more complicated, for people of color. I think right now things are starting to change, of course, as much as they can. But I still hear the stories. It's not as easy as everybody may seem, because it's playing with a different democracy, how they do what they do. So this was our family next door. You know what I mean? We was letting into a lifestyle, a culture that we couldn't see over there. So the first time we walked out the door, it was like, yo, I'm going to sensations. I'm going to be here, I'm going to these places. And yo, you got so many legends that came from Newark, that came from a brick shack. You know what I mean? Dana, you know what I mean? Queen. The Lords, you know what I'm saying? It's like Red Man, Naughty by Nature, Long Hill, we keep going. So it's a certain soil right here that is honored, but not always polished in a certain way. You know what I mean? Rough diamond's a rough diamond. I'm a rough diamond. Don't expect me to sparkle. I get that. I sparkle when I want to. I can do it in a way where we do it in the mind. And I think that, like I said, that's what it's all about. It's about knowing your past and knowing where you're going. You want to know where you're going. You know the past.
So the focus of You Think Podcast, man, is centered around men's wellness or mental wellness, right? My question to you, and this, like, you've said so much that's been like so profound, bro, that I really don't have much else to ask you. I wanted to structure this today, but like, your vibe this entire weekend has been super organic, bro. And every time somebody tried to make it about you, you made it about the people. So my question to you is this: what would not necessarily be advice, but what would you say to anybody my age or younger than me? I'm 41. What would you say to somebody that's watching that maybe going through spiritual warfare? Let me say that, because that's what effectively we're going through.
I would say the first thing is clear your space, man. Have space, have time for yourself. You know, sometimes you can catch energies of other people and it can sit in your, it can fall in your demon because you're around it. So you gotta know how to time certain times in your life that matter for you. Make time for that because it's 24 hours in a day. So it's like somebody told me, yo, you can't work out for 1 hour a day for it's 24 hours in a day, or you can't take time to do something, you know, that you really want to get done, and you can't point no fingers at nobody. You got to look at you. So once you take that time for yourself, and then next thing you know, you start paying attention to the things around you, people around, how they live, how they dress, how they walk, how they keep their life together, you know? Because it ain't always about the money, it's about the principles that we keep forgetting. Those principles. You know, everything that's going to happen is going to happen because it's destined to happen. So it can happen as long as you're thinking about you first.
Right.
I think about you. Really think about you. Really walk outside when you're in front of somebody, think about you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And hope that that person can carry the same energy. Right. So we could be where we need to be, but it's so hard to get on that track sometimes because, you know, we love where we come from. We love where we come from, so it's like, yo, we're going to keep allowing ourselves to make excuses and stay right here. But nah, hold up, I got to get my shit together. I'm getting older. It's cool when you're young, 13, 14. But even back then, we were still, they knew how to read, man. Read, man. You know how to read, man. You know how to read? We was reading the newspaper because a lot of niggas were getting knocked. But we still was reading like certain good things that we felt that it made sense to us. And those elements is important when you trying to make yourself be a better person.
Those are words from the chef, man. I posed the same question to you, bro, because before I met you, a lot of the young beloveds that I know that are outside, bro, they look up to you. They had nothing but great things to say about you, bro. Like, I don't know if you know the impact that you had, bro, without even that. So I asked you, bro, what do you say to any beloved, my age, your age, in between, younger, that may be watching this right now, bro?
If you know what you are, one of my greatest, I was having a conversation with Tata earlier, and I tell people I operate from two sides, right? I'm everything that's right and wrong with the city of Newark, right? I come from an environment that was detrimental to myself, and but I didn't know where I was, right? And they would always say, you do as the Romans do until you realize you're not a Roman nor you're wrong. So a part of that is just that part. And then I operate from the world of regret. One of those things is, you know, gratitude and regret, because my mother never seen me do good in my life. I buried my mother and she had never seen me do anything good in my life. So the part of living with that regret on the other side of it was that I would operate in gratitude, and everything that I would do and anybody that I came upon, I would do better than it was before we encountered each other. So I live with that every day, right? So part of it is operating in that space of just being doing what you are, right? So I that's what it is. Even when me and Ray met, it was like, okay, I remember me and Ray first met years ago when you performed in front of City Hall during the basketball game. And then we ran back full circle and we sat at the table and we understood what was happening at that moment. And the only thing I just looked at him when me and him walked up to the side was, I said, I got you. And I just left it like that. And so I think that's a part of it, right? Show up as a genuine person, right? Show up with the thought of service, right? What is it that I can be of service to those around us? And I think that you'll find a place that at the end of it, you'll create a body of work that tell the world who you are. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful because the other body of work that I created told the world who I was too. So I'm living in two parts of it, right? I'm living the life that I lived, and now I think I operate in legacy.
Yeah, see, let me say something. And this is something I don't really know too much about Pop, but I know your aura. He come from a town like ours, with a scuffed up town, I'm sure. And it's like, my thing is, when you sit around a bunch of men, brothers that you grew up with, who all have these egos and their personalities, how long did it take you to be able to sit here and say, yo, this is how I'm moving, and this is how I'm moving forward? Because it's a lot of times you don't get unicorns that come from, because it's easy for somebody to say they did something or they went somewhere but never did it, and then they become, this voice of illusion. And at the day, you got people that really come from this shit, paid dues and did this. Because I know one thing, a lot of my niggas that I look up to, they was away when I made this album. You know what I told them? I made this album because of y'all. Y'all raised me to talk like this. Yeah, of course, I did my street shit, but the ones who paid the penalty to be able to converse themselves to reverse themselves into, this is what I'm about giving back to the neighborhood that wanted and not allow myself to go backwards. I know only a few of those. Wow, that's what I feel with you, is that you might have had that same vision.
You know how many wars it took to do this song? The worst thing in the world is when, I always tell people, the hardest thing in the world is when you go play hero somewhere else, but you're a villain in your own household. Right? Because sometimes the bridge is the problem. Sometimes you gotta torch the bridge in order for you to
And look, and that's my same thing that I was saying earlier about you have to walk away. You have to find yourself, you gotta find your own space, because that's a part of the journey. Like you said, sometimes, like I know when some of our niggas, when they be rhyming, they never by myself. It's like we be known when you said it and you like, why you say that? Because that's what it really is. You gotta take time to you and mature when it's time.
What do you think? When do you think your maturation came to be? At what age do you think that was?
I think once I started having kids, man,
That's what
you grew up.
That's what
It's like, yo, you got responsibilities and you gotta be a leader.
Right.
And I want them to, reap the rewards that you've done based on educating them, you know what I'm saying, and just raising them in the way that they need to be raised. Because everything starts with the house. It starts at home. So that's what made me man up and say, yo, and that could change your perspective to your family sometimes as being, on this level of that you came. It's like, yo, I'm still one of y'all, but y'all might look at me here because of whatever energy, being complacent, talking about things, you become this bully in a way to your family too, because of this strength. And then you want to help everybody. I can't think of you want to, remember, you help somebody, give them the light that they expect to keep on forever. And it's hard for us to stay on that.
My beloved told me something, bro. He said that hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create soft men, which creates that cycle all over again, bro. So how do you navigate, keeping success at bay for your children like that instead of
not letting my ego supersede reality, because I always even say in rhymes like, yo, we smart dumb niggas. You know what I mean? Right. And we said it, we meant it, it sounded funny, but it's the truth. You know, like I live the path where I got a job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that means, so I don't care. It could be a nigga that's making $2 million people that got a check. I'm amazed by it because it's like work. So that always stuck in my head is to work for whatever you got that you're trying to get to. You know, and I think that allowed me to just be able to be humble and just know that if any more come, I can adjust. You know what I mean? It's like a nigga telling me, yo, I know niggas that don't got money that is more classier than niggas that don't got money. So, you know what I mean? It just, money don't make a person unique, of course, but it's your perspective of life that is worth more than anything. You know what I'm saying? A simple man can live like a king as long as he know that his principles is to stay that way. It's like raising kids. When you raise kids and they become somebody, it's automatically used to when you get raised. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's important. You want them to be something. Because I tell mine, nigga, I made out of a little window. This shit wasn't supposed to happen. We don't know where it's going to stop at, but at the end of the day, while it's here, I got to teach y'all the right way, teach y'all how to appreciate it, handle yourself in the real world, and work for it. So don't think that it's supposed to just fall in your lap. No, you got to respect $10 before you respect $100.
That's a fact. Well, beloved, listen, man, I appreciate it. Appreciating is an understatement. But the fact that you sat down with us and gave us the time that you did today, I'm beyond grateful, man. Congratulations on the launch of the dream. Congratulations on the new album as well. I'm still gonna bring my copy. The Purple Safe Blues. I need that sound, bro. Pop. I can't say thank you enough. Like, I thank you every time I talk to you, but I don't think you understand. Like, thank you. This has been a very, very special installment of You THNK Podcast. Once again, I am your host, Mr. Hughes. I've been joined by the legendary Pop, the legendary Chef Raekwon. I leave you with the same thought. Don't do nothing to nobody you wouldn't want done to you. And with that, I am signing off, man. Peace.